Welcome to another episode of JBT, Jedi Business Talk. My name is Chris B, and in this episode of JBT, I want to talk about all the Star Wars action figure news from the past 3 or 4 weeks, and I want to go over that. We've gotten quite a few reveals and new pre-orders for the Black Series 6-inch line and the Vintage Collection. Toys R Us is in the news again, some Hasbro Pulse news, and so there's quite a bit of stuff to talk about, so let's just dive right in. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Hasbro Pulse Fan Fest. That's taking place on April 9th on YouTube. That's a Friday. And that's when we can expect more figure announcements for the Vintage Collection and the Black Series lines. They're keeping us busy with news and announcements, and I love it. So, again, that's April 9th on YouTube. And talking about Hasbro and Europe, Hasbro Pulse is now available in the UK. £20 is how much the membership costs for the first year. You don't have to get a membership, of course, but the membership does get you free shipping. So if you use the service a lot, this might be worth it to you. It's just the introductory price. I think that's good until March 31st. And then after that, the price is going to go up. So check it out. See if that's something for you. They also said that other countries will follow in the coming months. So it seems like Hasbro is putting a lot of money into building out their e-commerce platform, especially now during the pandemic. A lot of people order their stuff online. And that's here to stay. It's not going to go away anymore, of course. So they are building this out, and they're going to bring their platform to more than just the North American territory and the UK. So stay tuned for more news regards to that. I actually just renewed my membership. It cost $50, and I wasn't very happy about it, to be honest, because when Hasbro Pulse launched, within the first, I think, 2 or 3 months, maybe it was the first month, I don't quite remember now, but it was free to sign up. And it would get you a membership for an entire year for free. And with the membership, you got free shipping, and you got also exclusive access to their exclusives. And then once the year was over, they just renewed it again for another year, and they didn't charge anybody for that service. So I think the first 2 years were free, and so now going into the third year, I had to pay $50. And quite honestly, I wasn't sure if it's worth it, because there's definitely some hiccups that they still have to iron out, especially when it comes to getting members access to exclusives. They had some exclusives, I think, especially for Hasbro PulseCon. They had one day where members got early access, and you had an entire day to place your order, basically. So that was great. But there were other exclusives that they had where it was a first-come, first-service, and premium members didn't have any special rights in regards to getting first dips or anything like that. So it was pretty messy, and so I didn't really like that. But overall, I think the $50 membership is worth it, but I wish they would do a bit more for their fans. If you ordered the Vintage Collection Razor Crest, I mean, if you have to pay shipping for this thing, it's probably going to be $20 or $30 or something. It's going to be it's a big box, right? So in that regards, the $50 kind of works towards getting that free shipping, and so I guess that makes it worth it then. But like I said, I wish they would do maybe a little bit more. In the past, during the first 2 years when they started, if you went to some of the conventions, you actually got some exclusive deals through Pulse. So, for example, Star Wars Celebration in Chicago, if you attended that, they had the exclusive Black Series Obi-Wan and Darth Maul figures on the Phantom Menace style card. And they had a special line for that where, I think it was actually the first day, where you could get in line, and if you had an email that said that you're a member, you would have the opportunity to buy those figures, and it was guaranteed, basically. And so that was really nice, because if you go to a convention, I mean, those lines can get crazy, And I also know that they did something like that for San Diego Comic-Con, and also they had a party at San Diego Comic-Con where if you're a Pulse member, you get an invitation, and then you could go there and you get free drinks, and you get to hang out with fellow collectors and your friends and stuff. So obviously not everybody can go to those kinds of events, especially now during the pandemic. So I'm hoping that they'll kind of build out their membership a little bit more and just give more exclusive rights to their members. So it feels like the $50 are worth more than just free shipping. So we'll see how that's going to play out. So, but it looks like they're working hard on expanding into other territories, and so fingers crossed that they'll improve the service. So moving on from Pulse, let's talk about the Vintage Collection. And you guys remember that they announced 3 exclusive Walmart figures for the Vintage Collection. That was the AT-ST Driver, Endor Leia, and Pablo. And then they announced those figures during the live stream, but the pre-orders didn't go live because they pulled it. They wanted to make sure that Walmart was prepared this time around, because the Mandalorian pre-orders for TVC was pretty much was a huge disaster, really. It was pretty bad, but they pulled the pre-orders. They talked to Walmart, and they made sure that Walmart was more prepared this time around, and sure enough, they were. The pre-orders went live at exactly 10 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast here. And those figures are still available, still in stock on the Walmart websites. So if you haven't pre-ordered those yet, you still can get them now. They're still on the website. I just checked before I turned the mic on. So yes, you can still get those. It's a nice improvement, because when you tell us to be someplace at 10 o'clock in the morning and we are there and the pre-order is not live, or it goes live 20 minutes earlier, and then it's pretty much sold out a minute after 10 o'clock, that can pretty much take the fun out of collecting, right? But if you have some time, you can go to the website and figures are available for pre-ordering, and you don't have to freak out about it. That's a different experience. And so this worked really well. So kudos to Hasbro and Walmart for getting this pre-order right this time around. More Vintage Collection news. Target stores have gotten the Grogu Boba Fett wave, which also has Greef Karga in it, Bespin Escape Leia, and Sutton is also in that wave. I found 2 of those figures actually in a store. So the Grogu and the Boba Fett reviews are up on the website, so you can find those now and read up all the figure details. I've also recorded 2 videos on YouTube about them, so you can also check those out. And of course, I'll get the other figures added to the website once they'll get here from Entertainment Earth. And so I think that was pretty much it for the last 3 or 4 weeks for the Vintage Collection. There is some news for the Retro Collection. Some of those figures have shown up in hands, so they should be here in the United States soon. I think they all look pretty good except for the child Grogu. I don't know if you've seen those images yet, but that is a pretty rough card, I have to say, because there's a lot of stuff going on. So not only is the bubble for the child and parts of the pram really big, but they have a second bubble on the card, which houses, I think, the display stand or something. And then on top of that, they also slammed the Retro Collection sticker on it, so the actual art on the card is pretty much obscured and it just doesn't look right. But it is what it is, and those figures should be out soon. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting all of those. I love what they're doing with the Retro Collection. One thing I noticed about Cara Dune in this Retro Collection wave, by the way, all the Cara Dune figures have now been pulled. So first, they pulled the Vintage Collection Cara Dune in the Black Series one, but they had, I think, about another week and a half, or almost 2 weeks, where that Cara Dune from the Retro Collection stayed as being still available on Target, and every retailer that I checked still had Cara Dune, and then all of a sudden she was gone too. So the only way you can get a Retro Collection Cara Dune now is by ordering a full case. You can of course get those through Entertainment Earth, or if you're lucky and your local Target store or Walmart store gets cases in of those figures, you might actually find Cara on a store shelf. But it looks like the individual orders, you can't get those anymore. So you have to buy a case or find them in a store once they start hitting. All right, so moving on from the retro collection, let's talk about the Black Series line. Boba Fett is shipping now. Amazon and GameStop have begun shipping those figures out in the United States. I'm looking forward to getting mine. It should be here on Monday, so fingers crossed. I heard that Entertainment Earth is not far behind either. Talking about Entertainment Earth, they've already shipped out the Bo-Katan wave from the Black Series line that also has Asajj Ventress in it and the 3 Bad Batch figures. I actually ordered my figures through Amazon and they're running late, so hopefully they'll ship them out soon. And as far as new announcements go, they announced the Imperial Rocket Trooper, which is GameStop exclusive. The figure is based on Battlefront 2. And you can still get that figure on the GameStop website, $24.99 plus tax plus shipping. I think it comes to about $33, $34. At least where I'm living in Washington State, we pay about $10, not $10, but 10% tax on top. So pretty pricey, but it is an exclusive action figure that you can only get at GameStop. And if you're a fan of the Battlefront 2 video game or the Gaming Grades line that the Black Series has, make sure you check this figure out. But of course, you know, it's a repaint of the Imperial Jump Trooper that's also been GameStop exclusive previously. So cool looking figure though, and if you missed out, check out GameStop.com and get your figure there. When they announced the Imperial Rocket Trooper, we also learned that the Gaming Grades line in the Black Series will have one color. So, you know, with a packaging change that started in fall of last year, they started doing individual colors based on media properties. So the Return of the Jedi is green, we have Attack of the Clones with red, and so on. Now for Gaming Grades, instead of splitting up different media properties or different video games like Jedi Fallen Order or Battlefront 2 and giving each of those their own color, they are all lumped together under one blue color now. So that's new and news. And, you know, if you've been to the website, you know that on Jedi Business, all the new Black Series figures since last fall 2020, which have the new packaging, are all color-coded on the website. So for me, you know, archiving those figures, that's kind of a big deal once, you know, even small changes like color changes happen. So I thought that was pretty interesting and thought I must share this with you guys. All right, so moving on from the Gaming Grades lines, the biggest reveal this week was the continuation of the comic book / novel figures in the Black Series line. They've already released Luke Skywalker Strikes back in 2019. Then there was really nothing in 2020, but it seems now for the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm, they're going back to the rich history of comic books and novels, and they're putting out some figures from those properties. So the figures now available and up for pre-order are Luke Skywalker based on the Timothy Zahn novel Heir to the Empire, Jackson from the Marvel Star Wars comic books, Darth Maul from the Sith Apprentice comic book series, and then Carnor Jax / Kir Kanis from the Crimson Empire comics. Now, I already recorded a video about all of those figures, so if you want to, you can check that out and learn more about each figure, what is new and what isn't new, what is kit bashed and partially retooled. But in short, most of those figures are reuses of existing sculpts, but it's pretty well done overall, I think. So for Jackson, and I got to give kudos to Dan Curto for that, who used to work on the Rebel Scum archive. He figured out that Jackson actually uses parts of Luke Skywalker Tatooine. So from the body down, the legs are Luke Farmboy. The upper body is Luke X-Wing. And the arms are also Luke X-Wing. And then the head is new. And then I'm not quite sure about the armor that he's got around the neck, whether that's a newly sculpted piece. I feel like I've seen it before, but I just can't put my finger on it right now. But it's basically mostly a reuse of existing parts, but I still think it looks really good and it works well. The same goes for Darth Maul. Somebody told me that it actually uses a body, the upper body of a Marvel Legends figure. And then the legs are from the existing Darth Maul figure. So they kind of gobbled it together to basically come up with a new version. The Luke Skywalker figure, for example, is a straight repaint of the Dagobah Luke. And then the Carnor Jax or Kirk Canis figure that they've come up with is a repaint of the existing Royal Guard with a few different accessories, a different cape and a different staff. So there's not a whole lot of newness, but they were able to take existing body parts basically and repaint them in some cases and come up with new characters. And I think it works well, especially for Jackson. I think this is fantastic. So anyways, kudos to Hasbro for being able to put those out. I think it's going to make a lot of people happy. I saw that Darth Maul has already sold out on Hasbro Pulse. The others are still available, and you can also still get Darth Maul and the others on Entertainment Earth. A link is in the description as always. Alright, so I want to talk about Toys R Us coming back. There's again talk about reviving Toys R Us. It seems like there are some plans in place, but they really haven't announced anything concrete yet. There's discussions about doing another round of pop-up stores and so on. But I think what it shows us, though, is that there really is a need for a store like Toys R Us in the United States. That the toy industry could really use the return of Toys R Us, because it feels like Walmart and Target stores have not been able to step up to the void that Toys R Us left. And I think this would be great and would benefit so many of us, and especially all the kids and everything. So fingers crossed that they're somehow going to be able to pull this off and bring it back. But I'm not very hopeful. But hey, let's see where that's going to go. Alright, so the last thing on my list to talk about is the closure of the Disney stores. They've announced that they are going to be closing over 60 stores. Obviously, I'm really unhappy about this because I love the Disney store, and every now and then they actually had a good offering of Star Wars action figures. I love their toy box line. You know that it is featured on Jedi Business as well, so you can look up all those figures on the website. But they also have the Elite series, and they've just started the 7-inch line from Diamond Select. So I also like those figures. And kind of sad to not have a Disney store locally anymore to go to and check those figures out. So fingers crossed that they're not going to close more stores. So that's it for this video edition of Jedi Business Talk. If you want to get a longer version of the rundown of all the Star Wars news, there is a podcast you can subscribe to on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or any of the other podcast apps that are out there. So make sure to check that out if you want to listen to Star Wars action figure news on the go. So thank you guys for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.